Right now, as you watch this, there are more bacterial cells in your gut than human cells in your entire body. And those bacteria, research suggests they may be influencing your blood sugar in ways your brain doesn't even know about. Today, we're going to meet your second brain. Today's topic, the gut-brain axis, your second brain and blood sugar. Trust me, you want to watch this all the way through. Let me paint a picture for you. Right now, inside your digestive tract, there is a universe of microorganisms, trillions of them, and they may be having a conversation with your brain through a nerve called the vagus nerve. This communication appears to happen around the clock, and research suggests it may directly influence your blood sugar, your cravings, your mood, and even how well your diabetes medication works. Today, we are going to learn how food choices could help shift that conversation for the better. Let me start with the research because understanding why you're eating what you're eating is what makes this approach different from every other meal plan. Your gut contains about 500 million neurons, which is why it's sometimes called your second brain or the enteric nervous system. These neurons communicate with your brain through the vagus nerve, and research suggests the messages they send may be heavily influenced by your gut bacteria. Let that sink in. This isn't my personal opinion. This is from peer-reviewed, published clinical research, and it has direct implications for what you eat today. A 2021 study in Nature Microbiology found that people with type 2 diabetes tended to have a distinctly different gut microbiome profile, with fewer bifidobacteria and more firmicutes. This pattern has been associated with increased intestinal permeability and systemic inflammation in some studies. Stay with me here because this is where it gets really interesting. Black beans in today's breakfast burrito bowl are a prebiotic powerhouse. They contain galacto-oligosaccharides that may specifically support bifidobacteria, the beneficial bacteria that some research suggests people with diabetes tend to have less of. Now I want to connect this research directly to your plate. Every ingredient in your meals was chosen with this science in mind. Nothing is random. Every bite is intentional. Fermented foods like certain components of pico de gallo and cheese may provide live cultures that directly contribute to microbiome diversity. Every different strain of bacteria you introduce could be another resource in your metabolic toolkit. The research I'm referencing, Wu et al., 2021, Nature Microbiology, altered gut microbiome composition in type 2 diabetes, reduced bifidobacteria, and implications for intestinal permeability. Link in the description. I always encourage you to look at the data yourself. Let me address a common misconception right now. Myth: probiotics are all you need for gut health and better blood sugar. Here's what the research suggests. Probiotics, the beneficial bacteria in supplements and fermented foods, are important, but they may be only half the equation. Without prebiotics, the fiber that feeds those bacteria, probiotics are like planting seeds in a desert. The bacteria arrive in your gut, but may not have the fuel they need to thrive. Today's meals are designed with both probiotics and prebiotics in mind, creating an environment where beneficial bacteria may not only survive, but potentially multiply. A healthy gut microbiome appears to require feeding, not just seeding. Postbiotics, the metabolic byproducts that gut bacteria produce, are the next frontier. Instead of just taking probiotics, companies are now isolating compounds like butyrate and urolithin A. Brands like Timeline Nutrition and BodyBio are leading this emerging space. A high-quality probiotic with multiple strains, look for at least 10 billion CFU with lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains, may help support your gut microbiome journey. Brands like Seed, Visbiome, and Garden of Life have research behind them. Taking them with food may improve survival through stomach acid. Spotlight: black beans. The breakfast burrito bowl today features black beans, one of the most studied blood sugar supportive foods. Black beans have a glycemic index of just 30 and contain a unique starch structure that resists digestion in the small intestine. This resistant starch may feed bifidobacteria, the exact gut bacteria that some research suggests people with diabetes tend to be deficient in. A 2012 study in the Archives of Internal Medicine found that eating 1 cup of legumes daily for 3 months was associated with reduced HbA1c, comparable to what some medications achieve. Black beans also provide 15 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber per cup, creating a highly satiating food that may help keep blood sugar stable for hours. All right, let's eat. Breakfast on day 12. Breakfast burrito bowl. Scrambled eggs, black beans, pico de gallo, cheese. Today's breakfast includes probiotic-rich yogurt paired with prebiotic fiber from oats and berries. This combination is what microbiologists call a symbiotic meal, probiotics and prebiotics working together. The live cultures in the yogurt arrive in your gut alongside the fiber they may need to feed on. The berries add polyphenols that research suggests may selectively promote the growth of beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus, while the oats provide beta-glucan fiber that ferments slowly, potentially providing sustained fuel for your gut microbiome throughout the morning. This breakfast is essentially a care package for your digestive ecosystem. Making your own fermented vegetables at home is easier than you think, and may be more potent than store-bought versions. Here is a simple method. Shred 1 head of cabbage, mix with 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and massage for 5 minutes until liquid releases. Pack tightly into a glass jar, press down until the liquid covers the cabbage, cover loosely, and leave at room temperature for 5 to 7 days. Taste daily after day 3. When it reaches your preferred tanginess, refrigerate. This homemade sauerkraut may contain significantly more live bacteria than pasteurized store versions. By now, your body may be adapting. Many people report less hunger between meals, more stable energy, and diminishing cravings around this point. That's not willpower, it may be biology. Your insulin efficiency, gut bacteria, and hunger hormones could be finding a new equilibrium. Trust the process. Before we get to lunch, let me tell you about today's exercise. It's specifically chosen to complement the science we just discussed. Today's exercise, gentle cycling or stationary bike. Best time, after breakfast, 20 to 25 minutes. Cycling may be excellent for people managing diabetes because it provides cardiovascular benefits with minimal joint stress. If you have a stationary bike, 3-minute warm-up at easy resistance, then alternate 2 minutes at moderate resistance with 1 minute at easy resistance for 18 minutes. Finish with 3-minute cool down. No bike? Do air cycling, lie on your back and pedal your legs in the air for 3 sets of 60 seconds, then march in place with high knees for 15 minutes. The science behind this. Cycling specifically activates the large muscles of the quadriceps and glutes, your body's biggest glucose consumers. A 2018 study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that cycling for 30 minutes was associated with improved insulin sensitivity for up to 48 hours afterward. Your muscles may continue absorbing glucose at an elevated rate even during rest. Remember, exercise for people managing blood sugar isn't just about burning calories. It's about creating glucose disposal pathways. When you move, your muscles can absorb glucose from your blood through processes that may not fully require insulin. Always check with your doctor before starting a new exercise routine, especially if you're on insulin or medications that can cause low blood sugar. Now let's talk lunch. Day 12, minestrone soup, low sodium, with whole grain roll. This midday meal is rich in prebiotic fiber, the food your gut bacteria may need to thrive. The Jerusalem artichokes or leeks contain inulin, a prebiotic that research suggests specifically feeds bifidobacteria, one of the most important bacterial groups for blood sugar regulation. The fermented side dish adds fresh bacterial cultures. Together, this lunch is both seeding new beneficial bacteria and feeding the ones that may already be in residence. Your gut microbiome could be measurably more diverse with consistent intake of meals like this. Practical tip: eat slowly. Research suggests that fast eaters may have significantly higher diabetes risk than slow eaters. Chewing thoroughly may help release satiety hormones and give your brain time to register fullness. Aim for 20 minutes minimum per meal. Today's snack: sliced cucumber with tzatziki, 3 tablespoons. This isn't mindless snacking, it's strategic metabolic support. Timed for mid-afternoon, 3 to 4 hours after lunch, to help prevent the blood sugar dip that may trigger poor dinner choices. By preempting that potential dip with protein and fat, you may reduce cravings before they start. Now dinner. Day 12. Stuffed bell peppers with ground turkey, brown rice, and tomato sauce. Your dinner tonight focuses on prebiotic-rich foods that may feed your gut bacteria overnight, which research suggests is their most active fermentation period. The garlic, onions, and asparagus contain fructooligosaccharides that your gut bacteria appear to thrive on. While you sleep, these bacteria may ferment these prebiotics into short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, which research has associated with improved insulin sensitivity. By morning, the metabolic products of tonight's dinner could already have begun supporting your fasting blood sugar. You are potentially programming better morning numbers with what you eat tonight. Research suggests insulin sensitivity tends to decrease between morning and evening. The same meal that barely raises blood sugar at 8 a.m. may have a notably larger impact at 8 p.m. That's why dinner is moderate in carbs, rich in protein, and non-starchy vegetables. Try to eat at least 3 hours before bed, and the post-dinner walk is highly recommended. Research suggests even 10 minutes may help reduce your post-dinner spike. Plates in the sink, shoes on, walk around the block. Today's nutritional breakdown: 1,460 calories total. Protein, 91 grams. Carbs, 116 grams. Fat, 64 grams. These macros are designed with type 2 diabetes management in mind. You should not feel hungry or deprived. If you do, add more vegetables and protein. Always consult your healthcare provider about the right caloric intake for your individual needs. If you're monitoring your blood sugar, and I encourage you to discuss a monitoring plan with your doctor, here are today's key testing moments. Fasting before breakfast, 2 hours after breakfast, and 2 hours after dinner. These 3 data points tell you how your body responded to today's meals. Write them down. Over 30 days, the patterns become incredibly informative. If you're on insulin or medications that can cause hypoglycemia, be especially attentive when changing your diet or exercise routine. Always have a fast-acting glucose source available. Your safety comes first. Here's the practical truth about gut health. You don't need expensive supplements or exotic foods. Start with what's available at any grocery store. A container of plain yogurt, a jar of sauerkraut from the refrigerated section, a bag of oats for prebiotic fiber. That's your gut health starter kit for under $10. Add 1 fermented food per day for the first week, then add a second the following week. Your gut bacteria need gradual introduction, not a flood of new organisms all at once. If you experience bloating or gas when starting fermented foods, that's actually a sign they're working, but it means to slow down and reduce the amount until your system adjusts. People ask, how quickly will gut changes affect my blood sugar? Research suggests gut microbiome shifts can begin within days of dietary changes, but meaningful metabolic effects typically take 4 to 8 weeks to stabilize. Think of it as planting a garden. You can plant seeds today, but the harvest takes time. The bacteria need to establish, multiply, and reach concentrations where their metabolic byproducts meaningfully influence your insulin sensitivity. Be patient and consistent. What to be mindful of today: artificial sweeteners in large quantities, as some research suggests sucralose and aspartame may negatively affect gut bacteria composition. Canned soups with excessive sodium, as over 800 milligrams sodium per serving, may not support gut health. Unnecessary antibiotics, since a single course has been associated with notable reductions in gut microbiome diversity in some studies. Processed cheese singles, which contain emulsifiers that some research has linked to gut barrier concerns. You don't need to be perfect, you need to be consistent. Follow this plan most of the time and you may see meaningful results. Every healthy choice is a deposit in your metabolic bank account, and those deposits can compound over time. Here is your engagement challenge for today. I want you to take a photo of 1 fermented food in your kitchen or at the grocery store and share it in the comments. Whether it is yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, or something I have not even mentioned, show me what you have got. Let us build a community library of gut-friendly foods. And tell me, what is the 1 fermented food you are most excited to try? Here are your important takeaways from today. First, your gut contains trillions of bacteria that research suggests communicate with your brain through the vagus nerve, potentially influencing blood sugar regulation, cravings, and even medication effectiveness. Second, a diverse microbiome appears to be a healthier microbiome, as low diversity has been linked to insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome in research. Third, prebiotics feed your existing bacteria, while probiotics add new beneficial strains, and you may need both. Fourth, fermented foods could be more effective than probiotic supplements because they contain living cultures in a food matrix that may protect them through stomach acid. Fifth, your gut bacteria may ferment fiber into short-chain fatty acids that research has associated with improved insulin sensitivity. Feed them well. That wraps day 12. We went deep into gut microbiome brain connection, enteric nervous system, and prebiotic feeding, the research, why it matters for blood sugar, and how every meal today is designed around this science. Remember, everything I shared today is educational. Your body is unique. What works for one person may not work identically for another. Always partner with your healthcare provider when making changes to your diet, exercise, or supplement routine, especially if you're on medication. Day 13 introduces one of the most fascinating nutrients I've researched, and it's found in the salmon we're having for breakfast. It's called astaxanthin, and laboratory studies suggest it may be remarkably potent as an antioxidant. A compelling study changed how many researchers think about oxidative stress in diabetes. Tomorrow is going to be fascinating. If this helped you, if you learned something new, hit like. It's free, takes 1 second, and helps the algorithm show this to other people who may benefit. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single day. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I read every single one. Remember, every meal is a choice. Every choice sends a signal to your body. You are not powerless against this condition. You are informed by research, equipped with a plan, and supported by a community. I'll see you tomorrow on day 13. Until then, eat well, move well, live well.